This is a Lunar Clubman SR. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake, and your ATC. This is all stuff we'll take you through in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead, which is a changeover valve. So whichever way the arrow is pointing, essentially, or whichever side the arrow is pointing to, is the gas bottle you will run off. If you want to change it over, you spin it over, and it will point towards the opposite one. And it has also got a green line to indicate it is pointing to that bottle. Carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles on board the van at any one point. On the side of the Caravan, you've got your Aldi heating flue, so you need to leave this uncovered. It is essentially the gas flue for the heating and hot water systems. So never cover that up, as it does get hot when it is in use. You've got your wind down legs on either side at the front to stabilise the Caravan. You'd never lift the Caravan with these legs, as it could potentially damage the floor of the van. Then got your water pump connection. Very simply push the water pump into the side of the van and lock it in place, and you'll drop the pump itself down inside the aqua roll. You then got your battery box with your quick release terminals on top, and your mains power lead coming into the side of the van, and also in there you've got your motor mover power switch, which will demonstrate to you here on site. The wheel nuts we torqued before the Caravan leaves site, so you can see they've been tightened correctly, and like I said, with the motor mover power switch, will demonstrate the mover while you're here on site. You've then got your toilet flush tanks. Very simply, you open up these with the key, the flap will come down, and it will take 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom here you have your toilet waste cassette, which you pull out with the orange handle. The neck turns out so you can tip the waste away, and you've got a measure here for your pink and your blue fluid. On top of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you are tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You've then got your grey waste flap. So essentially the grey, fresh water goes in the front of the Caravan, and then you've got 2 grey pipes here, which will allow the wastewater to come outside the van, so you'll open these up. Have 2 bits of grey pipe that go into the larger diameter circles on the outside, and they'll drop down inside the waste master itself. At the back of the van, you've got a storage facility, so you can access the storage underneath the bed, underneath the cabinet in the left hand side here. On the rear of the Caravan, you have your 2 wind down legs, which stabilise the Caravan while it is in use. We use a drill to put them up and down, which you could also do. We sell the attachments here on site for that in our shop. But like I said, you never lift the Caravan with those legs, because it is just for stabilising. Again, you've got a storage locker on this side for accessing the storage lockers and storage areas underneath the bed. Behind the door, you've then got your 2 fridge vents. These will allow hot air out the back of the fridge unit, and they'll also take some cool air in. And behind one of those, there is also a gas flue for the fridge system itself. Got your storage locker at the front, and your barbecue gas point, along with your other wind down leg. So we can go on to the inside of the Caravan now. The Caravan hasn't been cleaned yet, so I do apologise if it's still dirty inside. But above the door, you've got your main control panel for the Caravan, so you've got your main power on and off, your internal lighting, your water pump run, your external light, so the light for the outside of the Caravan. You've then got your levels for the battery on board the Caravan, and you can adjust the time for the clock on the control panel at the bottom. First thing you're going to need to do is fill the water system up, which you'll notice when I turn the tap on, I have already done. I'm just going to turn the pump off for a moment. So we'll open all the taps up on the hot side to fill the system. As you see, it's already been filled. That will drop in pressure in a moment, so I can show you how to fill it. Then underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the Caravan, you'll see you have a yellow drain down valve. Now that yellow drain down valve is essentially there to drain the water out of the system and to allow you to fill the water system up on board the van. So you'd have it parallel with the floor prior to filling the system, and then when you want to drain it down at the end of your holiday, you'd open that valve up and have it pointing towards the bottom of the seat, but always parallel with the floor to fill the system. Once it's parallel with the floor, you can come over to the control panel above the door. As you can see, no water coming out the tap. As the pressure builds up and the water system gets rid of the air out of it, you'll have water running continuously out of every tap. Now, it's not going to do it straight away like it just did for me. It will take about 5 or 10 minutes or so to get the air out of the system, and then the water will start running freely out of every tap on board the Caravan. At that point then, once the water system is full, as it is now, you can shut all of the taps off. So you need to open all the taps prior to filling the system and turning the pump on. At that point, you'll be able to start warming the water on board the Caravan. So just by the door here, we have a silver control panel, which is the Aldi heating and hot water control panel. At the moment, it's letting me know they've got 22 degrees of internal temperature. The water pump, the heating pump is running, and we've got mains power coming into the Caravan. So I'm going to hit the menu button, which takes us into the options. As you can see here, you've got your internal room temperature for the Caravan. So you've got minus or plus to set the room temperature. And this goes down all the way down to 5 degrees. I'm not going to take it all the way down, but it goes all the way down to 5 degrees, which at that point the heating is completely turned off. Below that, you've got your water temperature. So you've got water on when the bar is half full. Water, because the heating's on, it's not allowing me to do it. Let me turn that off completely then. So when the water is, the heating's off, you'll be able to use the boost system, and you can boost it by pressing the green button on the right hand side, where this bar will go completely black, which means the water system is warming up on boost. Below that, you have the amount of power that is coming into the Caravan. So you've got power off, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, or 3 kilowatt. So depending on what site you're on, will depend on what power supply you select here. If you're on a site with 3 kilowatts, then obviously you'll select the 3 kilowatts from here. If you're on a 1 kilowatt site, you'll select the 1 kilowatt. Below that, you have the option to run gas on your heating and hot water system. So you turn on the gas in the front locker, which is behind that door at the front there. Go to the hob and bleed the hob. So get the gas through essentially all the way through the hob system. So you know you've got gas to every component of the Caravan. And then you can come over to the control panel and hit the gas symbol in the bottom left hand corner. If it failed to ignite on gas, you'd essentially get gas fail come up at the bottom of the screen with 2 exclamation marks, one at each end. If that ever happens, I'd advise you go to the hob again. Just make sure you have got the gas fully through. Then try to reignite the gas system on the heating system. You have got some advanced options in here in the control panel. However, for this, we advise you read the manual for the Caravan, as if I tried to explain in the video, it'd probably take me around 2 to 3 hours to do. Hob, grill and oven all work very much the same as your household. However, the electric ring will only work when you're connected to a 240 main supply. It will not work from a 12 volt supply. The microwave, again, is 240 only, and to get it to wake up, you press the eco button on the front of the microwave, which then allows the microwave to turn back on. The fridge system, again, very simple to use. You've got a power button on the left hand side. At the moment, it's trying to connect to 12 volts, so essentially if you connect it to the car and you're towing down the road, you can have the control panel off above the door, come inside, turn the fridge on, and go to the 12 volt mode. And what that essentially means is it's going to run from the car you're towing with at the front of the van, the fridge as a cool box. So when you get on site, the beers and the wine are nice and cold, or the Coke for the Jack Daniels are nice and cold. And then that just means that, you know, if you're traveling with anything in there, it's going to keep cool and it's not going to go warm during that traveling. When you're on site, if you've got mains power, you'll hit the mains button, and then on mains and gas, you'll be able to control the temperature on the thermometer button just here. If you want to use gas as a power source with the gas turned on, you can hit the gas symbol. The fridge will self-ignite on gas, and if it fails to ignite, it will flash the blue pilot light just here, and it will also flash the red warning light on this end, very much the same as what it did with the 12 volt supply. If you want to turn the fridge off, you'll press and hold the power button, and the fridge will turn off completely. Last thing we go through on the inside of the Caravan is the toilet system. You have an electric flush on the toilet. You have a full indicator light for the toilet waste cassette. So this will essentially illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is full. And down the front of the toilet, you have your grey waste handle, which you need to have open to allow the toilet waste to go into the cassette under the van. The toilet seat does also turn for your convenience. However, if the toilet seat is turned and you're trying to remove the cassette from underneath the Caravan, it will actually lock the toilet waste cassette in place. One thing to remember is if the toilet stops flushing at any point, but you can hear the pump running, it means it has run out of toilet flush completely. The tail rail on the right hand side of the loo does hold heat for quite a long while when you've had the heating on, so please be aware of that. Especially if you've got children in the van, be aware of that also, just so there's no burnt hands or burnt legs while using the toilet facilities. So that is the Lunar Clubman SR. If you have any further questions on the Caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect the Caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.